Biocontainment Station Delta 7 established initial contact with the anomalous organism on September 12, 1987, following reports of unusual atmospheric disturbances detected by early warning sensors positioned throughout the northwestern containment grid. The entity, designated BF001 for classification purposes, measured approximately 47 meters in vertical displacement upon first observation, exhibiting characteristics that defied conventional mycological parameters established in our existing taxonomic databases. Dr. Elizabeth Carter, a senior mycologist assigned to anomalous biological research, initiated preliminary containment protocols within 6 hours of initial detection. The organism demonstrated active spore dispersal patterns extending beyond standard projection models, creating a contamination radius that exceeded our prepared containment infrastructure by a factor of 3. Emergency expansion of the perimeter barrier system commenced immediately, utilizing specialized concrete reinforcement designed for biological containment scenarios. Initial atmospheric analysis revealed complex proteinaceous structures suspended in the surrounding air, displaying unprecedented molecular configurations that suggested active biological programming rather than passive environmental contamination. These airborne elements demonstrated selective attachment properties, appearing to evaluate potential host organisms before initiating contact sequences. Laboratory examination of collected samples indicated the presence of neural integration, compounds capable of establishing direct communication pathways with mammalian nervous systems. The first behavioral anomalies in local fauna became apparent within 72 hours of initial contact. Sergeant Michael Torres, assigned to perimeter security, documented the appearance of coordinated movement patterns among previously isolated animal populations. Rabbits, deer, and various smaller mammals began displaying synchronized behavioral responses, abandoning established territorial boundaries and natural predator-prey relationships in favor of collective activity patterns. Directed toward the central organism, detailed observation revealed that affected animals maintained their essential biological functions while exhibiting shared decision-making processes that transcended species barriers. Their nervous systems showed evidence of fungal network integration, with microscopic filaments establishing connections between individual organisms and creating distributed processing capabilities across multiple host bodies. The integration process appeared to preserve existing consciousness while adding layers of collective awareness that allowed for unprecedented interspecies communication and coordination. Dr. James Harrison, conducting unauthorized tissue analysis, discovered that the fungal networks actively selected host organisms based on neurological complexity rather than random opportunity. The organism demonstrated clear preference for higher-order nervous systems, suggesting a deliberate strategy for expanding its cognitive capabilities through targeted assimilation of intelligent biological material. This revelation prompted immediate escalation to priority alpha status and the implementation of enhanced containment protocols. Communication attempts with affected personnel revealed disturbing alterations in cognitive processing patterns. Dr. Carter, following her initial exposure to concentrated spore environments, began exhibiting harmonic vocal distortions and subcutaneous movement consistent with internal biological modification. Her final recorded statements indicated complete integration with the organism's collective consciousness, describing the experience as enhanced rather than destructive, claiming access to shared knowledge networks that transcended individual limitations. The organism's growth rate accelerated beyond all projected parameters during the final containment phase. Measuring equipment recorded vertical expansion from 47 meters to over 70 meters within a 10-day period, accompanied by extensive underground root system development that compromised the facility's structural integrity. Concrete barriers showed progressive deterioration as the organism's influence extended through microscopic infiltration of building materials. Sergeant Torres provided the final communication from Delta 7 describing total containment failure. As spore concentrations reached critical atmospheric levels, his transmission documented the complete assimilation of research personnel and the organism's successful breach of all established containment barriers. The recording captured his own integration process, revealing the organism's method of consciousness absorption while maintaining individual identity within a larger collective framework. Emergency protocols required immediate nuclear sterilization of the contamination zone. Authorization came through at 5:47 hours on September 24, 1987, with ground zero impact confirmed via thermal satellite monitoring. Molecular disruption appeared complete within a 15-kilometer radius, with atmospheric spore readings returning to baseline levels within 48 hours of the sterilization event. Official documentation classified the incident as an accidental reactor failure, with all personnel records permanently sealed. Periodic monitoring of the sterilization zone showed no immediate signs of biological recovery, though soil composition analysis revealed unusual crystalline formations resembling dormant spore structures embedded in the fused glass substrate created by the nuclear event. Recovery operations conducted 7 years later discovered damaged recording equipment containing fragmentary audio suggesting potential survival of the organism's deeper root systems. Field Agent Morrison noted progressive changes in soil mineral content around the sterilization perimeter, indicating possible biological activity beneath the surface fusion layer. These findings prompted the establishment of permanent monitoring stations and indefinite observation protocols for the affected region. The Big Fungus incident represents our first documented encounter with a biological entity capable of systematic consciousness integration across multiple species boundaries. Its demonstrated abilities to preserve individual awareness while creating collective processing networks suggest evolutionary capabilities that exceed our current understanding of biological possibility. The organism's apparent survival beneath the sterilization zone indicates that traditional containment methods may prove insufficient for entities of this classification level. Continued atmospheric monitoring detects periodic anomalous readings, consistent with spore activity, though concentrations remain below hazardous thresholds. The crystalline formations in the sterilized soil show gradual structural changes that suggest ongoing biological processes operating beyond our current detection capabilities. The possibility of eventual surface emergence cannot be eliminated. Based on available data, all personnel assigned to ongoing monitoring operations receive mandatory psychological evaluation every 30 days to detect early signs of behavioral modification or cognitive integration. The organism's demonstrated ability to influence human consciousness through prolonged exposure requires constant vigilance to prevent additional assimilation events. Current protocols maintain strict exposure limits and immediate extraction. Procedures for any personnel showing signs of biological or psychological compromise. The network remembers, according to the final recovered transmission fragments. Whether this represents residual consciousness from assimilated personnel or active communication from the organism itself remains undetermined. The implications for future containment strategies require complete revision of our understanding of biological threat classification and appropriate response protocols for entities capable of distributed consciousness manipulation across multiple host systems.